Hello and welcome to Out of Spec Motoring. Today we are talking about safety systems in vehicles, and this is assisted driving functions. And a lot of people think autopilot has the most advanced features out there. I've seen a lot of people talk about this. However, you'd be totally wrong. Lexus sent this top of the line LS500 hybrid that is absolutely one of the most comfortable cars I've ever driven. And in this video, I'm going to show you what a very conservative manufacturer, Toyota Lexus, is doing with safety systems that potentially blows away what the Tesla has currently. So let's talk about this. The Lexus, again, this has Lexus Safety System Plus A. Everything that company offers, Toyota Lexus, is in this vehicle. This is a Model 3. Everything Tesla offers is in this vehicle from a safety perspective. And so let's compare them. Obviously, these two vehicles are at very different price points. This thing's almost 100 grand. This one's about 60, but a Model S, which would compete with the Lexus, has all the same functionality. Couldn't get a Model S for this test, but that's okay. We're just talking about the tech, and this and the Model S are identical. The Tesla, as many of our viewers know, has 8 cameras around it. This is Autopilot 3.0 computer tech hardware. So we have side view cameras, 3 on the windshield, tons of great stuff. And Tesla says this vehicle will be fully self-driving one day. Maybe, I don't know, we'll see. I don't buy into it. Let's talk about the sensors up here. There is just one radar cone off the front. In the rear, you have ultrasonic sensors that help you with blind spot monitoring and side collision avoidance. Let's talk the Lexus. We have a stereo camera setup here on the windshield. And then we have a radar off the front. We have similar ultrasonic sensors on the rear. So in terms of sensor technology, it's not too far off. The Lexus is down on many cameras though. So why is it that this vehicle can do a few more things? Well, I'm not really sure, to be honest. I just think Toyota's integrated their sensors in a much smarter way than Tesla has currently. We'll talk about this a little bit later on, but this vehicle also has a 24-inch heads-up display. Absolutely massive, covers the whole windshield. And most of the safety systems work in tandem with that heads-up display. So when other vehicles are coming at you, arrows show and it highlights pedestrians off in the distance. It's really, really cool. And the point of this video is just to show everyone who thinks autopilot is the best, maybe it's not in some areas. Let's go try out the Lexus. As part of this Lexus Safety System A+ option, which has everything available in the Toyota lineup for vehicle driving safety, it will not let you crash into anything. So we need to test that, because I know for sure a Tesla will let you crash in and bump bumpers at low speed, but apparently the LS500 won't. So I'm going to try to crash into this outhouse with this $100,000 Lexus. Wish me luck. We're now facing an outhouse. I'm in a Lexus LS500H, as you already know, and I'm going to try to drive into the outhouse, and the Lexus should stop me. Let's find out. Pointed straight ahead. We're going to go about, I don't know, 5 miles an hour or so, and brake lights up everywhere, heads up display. That was incredible. We must have, like, I don't know if we hit it or not. Let's ask Timon. Did we crash into it? Did we touch it?
I can't hear you.
Oh, did we touch it?
No.
Oh, that's amazing. Sorry. I just asked Timon, our cameraman, if I hit it, and he said no. That's an amazing technology. Really cool. It like slams the brakes on. Does it do it in reverse? I hope I don't have to replace a Lexus bumper. Let's find out if it does it in reverse. There's only one way to try it. So we're backing up in a parking spot, performing a maneuver. It has a great 360 cam, by the way. And we're backing up, not paying attention. Oh, it does it. Brake lights up everywhere. That is really cool technology. That's pretty awesome. Now I know some like FCA products do this and it's becoming more prevalent, but this is the first time I've been able to experience this feature and Lexus has got it right. We need to talk about one of the coolest features I've experienced in a car. I didn't actually even know this car had it when they dropped it off at my house. I was pulling out of my neighborhood. A car was coming down the street. I live kind of on a blind corner, and I was about to go, and the whole screen turned bright yellow, the heads-up display. It showed arrows going in the direction of the car, and then, you know, it audibly made a warning sound that I shouldn't move. The car also detects stop signs in my heads-up display, and on the screen here I get a red stop sign when we come up on a sign. It does speed limits the same way as well with the cameras. So Tesla's just started displaying stop signs. This has had it for a little while. What we're going to do now is demonstrate this cross-traffic alert. So now there's two sensors on the edge of the front bumper that's looking in both directions at all times. It does the same off the rear if you're backing out of a parking spot. No Tesla does this, by the way. So if I'm just sitting, let's just say, at a traffic light and a car's coming in the other direction, it'll show just a warning, very unobtrusive, no noise, nothing big flashy, just so it doesn't bug me. As soon as I lift off the brake pedal to make the car move forwards, the whole thing freaks out. It's like, hey, don't go anywhere. Pretty amazing. Especially as your average age of the buyer of one of these things can't really turn their head so well. So what we're gonna do now is go to this stoplight, wait for some cross traffic, and I'm going to simulate as if I was pulling out in front of them. Also, over these bumps, you really can't feel a thing. This thing is so comfortable. It has the optional air suspension. So you can see a vehicle coming to our left. I'm going to inch forwards here. Hear that beep? Caution for crossing traffic. Shows a car on the screen, and the whole heads-up display turned yellow. That is some amazing technology. Let's jump on the highway, and I'll show you a little bit how this car does some autopilot type features in the lane. Now, a lot of vehicles now will do lane following, lane tracing is what Lexus calls it. I think that's a really cool functionality. This is not as good as autopilot when we get up to speed. So let's jump on I-95, go up one exit. As we're merging on, we'll talk about the powertrain in this particular vehicle. Heavy on the power. Those shift points are a little weird, as you can hear. And that's because you have a 3.5 liter V6 powering a 4-speed automatic with a CVT that simulates 6 gears, so you have a 10-speed transmission when everything's said and done, and then 2 electric motors with about a 1 kilowatt-hour battery pack. So kind of a weird setup. It's very effective. It is extremely quiet and comfortable when driving slowly. The mid-range, like when you really roll into it, it's a little bit odd. The power is not linear with the amount of pedal pressure that you give the pedal, but if you nail it, it goes pretty quick. I have no complaints about the power. So I have now selected adaptive cruise control and lane tracing, and what this car does is it's reading the lines and reading the distance to the motorcycle in front of us. It would do the same with a car, of course, and it's steering just like autopilot would. It'll ask me to put my hands on the wheel every once in a while. Of course, no system currently is full self-driving. It needs driver monitoring. So it's gonna do this just fine. I've spent about 1,000 miles in it. You can see it asked me to hold the steering wheel. I touched it. It's doing a great job. Now here's the mind-blowing part. If I wanna make a lane change, just like Tesla, I can push halfway down on this turn signal. That beep indicates that it will then make a lane change. It shows this cool graphic of a move, same in the heads-up display. And it makes lane changes all by itself, just like autopilot does. I didn't know many other systems did this until I spent time with this car. That is really, really good tech. As we take the exit here, the car is charging up our little battery pack so we can do a little bit of electric driving. I think hybrids make a lot of sense for most people. I mean, this thing does like 500, 600 miles to a tank. It's pretty incredible the range you can get out of it. The way I've been driving it, it's been saying about 450 on a full tank, but that's still pretty impressive. A lot of gas cars don't go above 300 miles on a tank of fuel. People don't realize. So let's merge back onto the highway and talk about how this car compares with features that Tesla already has. I'm not trying to say that this is better than autopilot. I purely want people to understand that there's other systems out there, and a Tesla isn't the end-all be-all when it comes to safety tech. So let's accelerate up. Again, plenty of power, about 350 horsepower, just over. I'd say it's more than adequately quick. We will turn on the adaptive cruise function. We can, of course, set our following distance, and now we're set behind this truck. I'd like to go for a pass, so hit the turn signal and go. The lane changes to me feel just as confident as Tesla's lane changes. Extremely smooth, accelerates nicely. That's really cool. It took Autopilot 2 like 7 software updates to get as good as this car is. So I'd say that's pretty impressive stuff. It's also supremely quiet in here on the highway. You can whisper. There's not a hint of noise. Wind is almost dead silent. It's pretty incredible. And Timon, our cameraman's in the back seat, enjoying the lounge of the executive sedan. So lane centering, like I was saying, it's not as pinpoint perfect as Autopilot is. It tends to sway a little bit, and it zigzags and wobbles very slightly. But if someone who has not experienced Autopilot and gets into this vehicle for the first time, they're going to be blown away by this technology. And a lot of people buying these cars, keep in mind, they're not Tesla customers. They love the reliability, the comfort. They've owned Lexuses in the past, and so now they're being exposed to this new world of tech. And they really are not missing out on anything from the Tesla experience so far. This thing, like I said, done about 1,000 miles in it on the highway mostly, and it's been amazing. Really cool. I'm not missing driving my Tesla at all when I'm driving this car. In fact, I've had the Tesla and this car at the same time, and I haven't driven my Tesla once. I've been getting a massage with air-conditioned seats every day, driving this Lexus around. Let's run through some other cool tech features specific to the LS500 hybrid. This one has a lot of options on it. I'll include the window sticker right here. It's 98 grand and a bit. Not cheap, but definitely, I think, worth the money. The first off, these headlights are crazy bright. They move all around when you turn the wheel, just as headlights should. I think that's really nice. Another cool feature is this air suspension. Every time you put the car in park and open the door, there's a setting where the car can poof, instantly raise up like on a dime, and it's easier to get in and out of the vehicle. I really like that feature because who wants to spend effort getting in and out of your $100,000 Lexus? Let's walk around to the back. Some other cool stuff in the Lexus. There's a power shade in the back that automatically raises up with a button. The trunk, of course, you can kick and it opens up, or there's a little button right here. But it's got a lot of cool stuff, including an electric scooter. I've been riding around that thing in the back of the Lexus. Pretty good trunk size. Downside, though, is the rear seats do not fold, so you're limited to the trunk space here. So this is definitely not a carrier. Let's talk back seat. Come on over. In the back seat, first off, you have a ton of legroom. Now, this particular car does not have it, but you can spec a $23,000 executive package that gives you like this really cool glass on the side, massaging, reclining rear seats. It's absolutely beautiful. This one doesn't have it, but it does have the massaging front seat. So, sitting in here, oh, just look at this. It's really cool. You can also pull down this control panel and force the front seat to move forwards and up the passenger seat. So if you sit on the other side, you can literally lay down and drive this car, or have someone drive you, I should say. You also have seat heating and shade controls and other stuff like that. Air vents all over the place. It's absolutely a great place to pass the time as a backseat passenger. And yes, I did get chauffeured through every fast food restaurant in Raleigh. And there you have it. This is definitely a tech fest full of features. So is the Tesla. We weren't comparing drivetrains here. I just purely wanted to bring up the fact that other automakers are doing innovative things, and it sort of gets washed away in the news. I'm very impressed with the tech in this car. The quality level is amazing. This is definitely a really cool car. Now keep in mind, no one's cross-shopping a Tesla and an LS500. Very few people are, but it is really awesome that if you buy a Toyota Lexus product, you're not really missing out on much tech. Big props to these guys. Thank you, Lexus, for the car for the week, and we'll see you on the next episode.